Good afternoon, children. Welcome to your I Learn English language class. Today we will continue with the synthesis of sentences, where yesterday we did joining two or more simple sentences to form a simple sentence. Then we did joining two or more simple sentences to form a compound sentence. And today we'll be doing joining two or more simple sentences to form a complex sentence. So all of you have to recall the chapter simple, compound and complex sentences. You all know that complex sentences are formed when we use a subordinating conjunctions or when we use a relative pronoun or a relative adverb. So we can form a complex sentence using those. Also, if you remember the chapter clauses, it will be very useful because clauses is there in your uh, UT4 syllabus also. So clauses, we had done noun clause, adverb clause, adjective clause. You have to recall that. But overall, if you know that complex sentences are formed using subordinating conjunctions, most of the combining the sentences into a complex sentence, you will be able to do. Okay. So there, as I told you before also, there is no one way to transform sentences. Similarly, synthesizing sentences, there can be more than one way sometimes to synthesize a sentence. So there, it's not that there will be just one right or correct answer. There can be many ways of synthesizing or combining your sentences. In case you are not given that you have to synthesize these two sentences and make it complex, or you have to synthesize these two sentences and make it a compound sentence. If it is not mentioned whether you have to make the sentences a compound sentence or a complex sentence, then you can very well use any method, any coordinating conjunction or subordinating conjunctions also to synthesize. If it is not mentioned that you have to change it into a compound sentence or you have to change it into a complex sentence, then you can use any method to combine or synthesize the sentences. I hope this is clear. Now we will move on to joining two or more simple sentences to form a complex sentence. How to do it? Okay. So today we'll learn how to join two or more simple sentences into a complex sentence. So first of all, let us revise what is a complex sentence. A complex sentence has only one main or independent clause. Remember that a complex sentence has only one main or one independent clause. It can have two or more finite verbs, which a simple sentence can only have one finite verb. A compound sentence can have two finite verbs or more, and then a complex sentence can also have two or more finite verbs depending on how many independent clauses it is joining. Now, a complex sentence always has a subordinate clause. So a complex sentence can have one or more than one subordinate clauses. And a complex sentence is joined using a subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun, a relative adverb. All these conjunctions, pronouns, and adverbs, if you use them, you can change a simple sentence into a complex sentence. Next. Okay. So now what we are going to do is joining two simple sentences into a complex sentence. So a simple sentence, you know, has a main clause with one finite verb, and a complex sentence will have one main clause and one or more subordinate clauses with more than one finite verb. Now, how to form a complex sentence? To form a single complex sentence, we have to convert all the independent clauses except one. There has to be one main clause, but the remaining independent clauses have to be converted into dependent or subordinate clauses. Depending on their function, we have to convert all the independent clauses except one into dependent clauses, because a complex sentence has only one main or independent clause. Rest have to become independent clauses in order to make it a complex sentence. And then how do we make it a complex sentence? We need to join them using either subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns or relative adverbs, or using question words. Now, there are three ways which are given by which you can change or synthesize or combine two simple sentences into a complex sentence by using subordinate noun clause. Now, if you remember the chapter clauses, we had discussed the noun clause. Noun clause is when we use noun clause can be used as the subject of the sentence, as the object of the sentence. It can be used as a it can be also used as object to the verb, subject to the verb, object to a preposition. Okay. And we all remember that we used to ask a question, and these noun clauses can also be joined using question words. Noun clauses can have question words, and the noun clauses generally have that either in the subject, or in the object. So noun clauses are identified by the use of the word that, and also they they have question words. Okay. Then you can, the second method is by using subordinate adjective clauses. If you remember the adjective clause, we had done the adjective clause. The adjective clause is like when you when you are describing or telling something more about the noun. Okay. And the adjective clause has to appear like which, who, whom. Okay, these are the adjective clauses. These are the words with which the adjective clauses generally begin. And these words which, who, whom, etc. have to be placed just before the noun about which you are talking. Like, for example, an old woman had a hen which laid a golden egg. So, hen is the noun which you are describing, and therefore the word which has to immediately follow the noun which it is describing. So this was the adjective clause. And then by using subordinate adverb clauses, and you had done several adverb clauses. If you remember, adverb clause of time, adverb clause of place, adverb clause of purpose, adverb clause of reason. Reason was because, time, there are a lot many adverb clauses of time, and adverb clause of place where, adverb clause of reason because, since, as. Then adverb clause of condition is if. Adverb clause of purpose is so that. Adverb clause of comparison, you had studied comparison, as intelligent as brave as. Then adverb clause of contrast, where you have to use though, although, etc. So all these are basically, you have to use subordinating conjunctions or the relative adverbs or relative adjectives or question words to combine two simple sentences into a complex sentence. Please remember this. So we'll do the first method by using subordinate noun clause. Now look at the sentences. The enemy has sneaked in through the border. It is suspected by the BSF. Now these are two simple sentences. The enemy has sneaked in through the border. It is suspected by the BSF. Now you have to combine this using a noun clause. Very simple. It is suspected by the BSF that the enemy has sneaked in through the border. See, we are using the word that, and your subordinate clause in this case will be that the enemy has sneaked in through the border. Okay, so this is the subordinate clause beginning with that, and that where it is used, this subordinate clause is a noun clause. That the enemy has sneaked in through the border is a noun clause. And the question which we ask is, what is suspected by the BSF? That the enemy has sneaked in through the border. If you remember, we had done this when we were doing noun clauses, that you have to ask the question what is suspected by the BSF? That the enemy has sneaked in through the border. So this is how you change, combine two simple sentences into a complex sentence by using a noun clause and also making, without changing the meaning of the sentence. Let us look at another example. She will recover soon. I am sure of it. How will you combine this? These are two simple sentences. She will recover soon. I am sure of it. Using a noun clause, I am sure that she will recover soon. You don't have to use again of it because it has no relevance when we are combining it into a complex sentence. So which is the subordinate clause here? That she will recover soon is the subordinate clause in this sentence. And we will ask the question, what are you sure of? That she will recover soon. So this is the noun clause from that. Beginning from that she will recover soon is the subordinate clause. I am sure is the independent clause. And we are combining it without changing the meaning of the sentence. I missed the train. He asked me the reason of it. So he asked me the reason of it. We can use why. When we use why, we can ask a reason. He asked me why I had missed the train. So now we are using a question word here to combine the two simple sentences. Why is the question word and why I had missed the train is the noun clause here. So this is simple. If you even don't remember the clauses or all, you can easily combine two sentences together if you know that you have to use either a question word to combine or a subordinating conjunction or relative adverb. So this is how you will do relative pronoun. He asked me why I had missed the train. The reason becomes why here. You should try harder. You will certainly succeed. So now, if you see, you will certainly succeed and you should try harder. Two simple sentences. So how will you combine it? Your success, you can change a few words in because you can change the verb into a noun. Like succeed is the verb and we changed it into a noun form. So this transformation is allowed. Okay, succeed is the verb and we made it changed it into a noun. So your success depends on how hard you try. Now here, how is the question word and how hard you try is the noun clause here. Subordinate clause, how hard you try. So your success depends on what? How hard you try. Now we can, if we are not not doing the noun clause, we are now concentrating on the noun clauses, how to join two or more simple sentences using a noun clause and make it complex. If not, the other option which you can write is, you will certainly succeed if you try harder. That is also correct. Okay. So if you try harder will become what? It will become if is an adverb clause of condition. So as I told you, if you are not told what clause to use, there are other ways also in which you can combine two sentences together. There is no one way. Since we are doing the noun clause, that is why I use the word how here, the question word. Otherwise, if when we will do the adverb clauses, you will see that we can also write this sentence as, you will certainly succeed if you try harder. That is also correct way of combining the sentence. Next example of how to join two or more simple sentences using a noun clause. They have bought a house somewhere. Do you know the place? So we will write it as, do you know the place where they have bought a house? So this where they have bought a house is the noun clause. Do you know the place where they have bought a house? He said something. I did not hear. I did not hear what he said. So this something will be removed. I did not hear what he said. The meaning remains the same. And we use a question word here to combine the two sentences. And my subordinate clause is what he said. I did not hear. What did you not hear? What he said. What did you not hear? I did not hear what he said. So what he said is the noun clause here. And we are combining two simple sentences together by using the question word what, which is a noun clause. This entire what he said is a noun clause. So it is beginning with what, the noun clause. Now we'll come to by using subordinate adjective clauses, which is also very, very simple. You know how to use which, who, whom, whose. An old woman had a hen. The hen laid a golden egg every day. So instead of repeating the hen, we will write the old woman had a hen which laid a golden egg every day, and which laid a golden egg every day is your adjective clause. It begins with which, and remember I told you the antecedent has to be immediately before the adjective, this thing, which relative adjective. So this hen is the antecedent, hen. We are talking about the hen. This is the noun and it is followed by the adjective, relative adjective which. So an old woman had a hen which laid a golden egg every day. So from which laid a golden egg every day is the adjective clause. The couple is married. We are talking about them. So now the couple that we are talking about is married. Now even if you write or not, do not write, it doesn't matter the word now. The couple that we are talking about is married, or the couple which we are talking about is married. That is more appropriate. So now why is this an adjective clause? Because we are talking about the couple and it is immediately preceding. There is no question that we can ask from the independent clause. The dependent clause here is that we are talking about. This is the dependent clause. The couple is married is the independent clause here. Okay. The couple is married is the independent clause. That we are talking about is the dependent clause. So here in this case, this that will not be a noun clause, because we cannot ask the question, the couple is married, what couple is married? Okay. So this is an adjective clause. James had a friend. The friend brought candy for him every day. Again, we are talking about friend and we are repeating friend. So we can easily combine it using James had a friend who brought candy for him every day. Since who, friend is a person, so we will use who. James had a friend who brought candy for him every day. Ashok is a budding writer. He has written a gripping story. Okay. Ashok is a budding writer who has written a gripping story. Now again, who is the who has written a gripping story is the adjective clause here, and Ashok is a budding writer is the independent clause. So we are combining using this adjective clause, who has a written a gripping story, and who talks about the writer, which is the antecedent. They are singing for the girl. It is her birthday. So now we are combining this. How will we combine? They are singing for the girl whose birthday it is. Now we are using whose. Whose is also whose birthday it is the adjective clause here. And since we are talking about the girl whose birthday it is, we will use who. Who birthday it is has no sense. So they are singing for the girl whose birthday it is. So we are using it is her birthday, whose birthday it is in the end. Please mark this. Now, the last one, by using subordinate adverb clauses. How to combine two simple sentences into a complex sentence by using subordinate adverb clause. And here all your subordinating conjunctions will come to will be used. All the subordinating conjunctions. Now let us see the examples. It became very hot. I switched on the fan and slept. When it became very hot, I switched on the fan and slept. So now we are using a subordinating conjunction when. Okay. We can also write it as I switched on the fan and slept when it became very hot. So when you had learned this, that when the sorry when the subordinate clause comes before the main clause, we use a comma. And when the subordinate clause is followed by the main clause, we will not use a comma. So it can be written both ways. When it became very hot, I switched on the fan and slept. I switched on the fan and slept when it became very hot. So when it became very hot is the adverb clause of time, because it is telling us about the time. So this is adverb clause of time. The thieves fled somewhere. The police could not follow them. So now we can write this as the thieves fled where the police could not follow them. So the thieves fled is the independent clause, and the dependent clause here, the adverb dependent adverb clause is where the police could not follow them. Now this is adverb clause of place, where indicates that this is an adverb clause of place, and where is also used as a subordinating conjunction. Sorry. He had to break the lock. He had lost the key. Again, he had to break the lock. We can simply use because, as, since, because we have to give a reason why he had to break the lock, and these are all subordinating conjunctions being used. He had to break the lock because he had lost the key, and this because he had lost the key is also adverb clause of reason. So we can also write he had to break the lock as he had lost the key. He had to break the lock since he had lost the key. We can also write it as since he had lost the key, comma, he had to break the lock. All these will be marked correct provided if you are using since he had lost the key. That is, if you are using the subordinate clause in the beginning, please put a comma. If you are using the subordinate clause after the main clause, you don't need a comma. Okay. As he had lost the key, comma, he had to break the lock. That is also correct. Put a comma. As he had lost the key, comma, he had to break the lock. Since he had lost the key, comma, he had to break the lock. Generally, we do not prefer beginning a sentence with because. So we are not using because in the beginning of the sentence. Because will always be used after the independent clause. He had to break the lock because he had lost the key. So see, if you see, there are 5 sentences I told you which will be marked correct. More than 5 sentences which if you use it properly with the proper punctuation, it will be marked correct. The first one I told you, this is written. He had to break the lock because he had lost the key. He had to break the lock since he had lost the key. He had to break the lock as he had lost the key. All 3 I will mark correct. Then since he had lost the key, comma, he had to break the lock, and as he had lost the key, comma, he had to break the lock. So all these 5 sentences, 5 ways of combining these 2 sentences will be marked correct. You have to get up early. I'll take you to the zoo. So if you get up early, comma, I'll take you to the zoo. So if you get up early is the adverb clause of condition. Whenever we put a condition, we use if. So adverb clause of condition. And since the dependent clause is in the beginning of the sentence, you will put a comma, and I'll take you to the zoo is the independent clause here. Now we can also write the sentence as I'll take you to the zoo if you get up early. That is also correct. I'll take you to the zoo if you get up early. Then in that case, you don't have to put a comma. Both the ways of combining will be marked correct. Harry is strong. John is equally strong. So again, if you see, we are comparing. Here, a comparison is being made between Harry and John. And this has to be adverb clause of comparison. Harry is strong. John is equally strong. So John is as strong as Harry. So this is adverb clause of comparison. Now, if I say he is intelligent, his brother is equally intelligent. So you will write he is as intelligent as his brother is. Okay. Another thing is here I have not taken a sentence, but I will tell you adverb clause of contrast also. How it can it be an adverb clause of contrast? He is poor, he is honest. So you will write, though he is poor, comma, he is honest, or he is poor, although he is poor, comma, he is honest. That will be a adverb clause of contrast. Okay. Ram runs fast, Mohan runs faster. If I say that, so you will write either you can write Mohan runs faster than Ram. That will be a comparison, adverb clause of comparison. If you use than also is adverb clause of comparison. So if Ram runs fast, Mohan runs faster, we will write Mohan runs as fast as Ram, or Mohan runs faster than Ram. Both are correct. Okay. So these are the few ways in which you can combine using the subordinate adverb clauses. So we will discuss the remaining things from the book if there is something else, but this is all about using adverb clauses, noun clauses, and adjective clauses to combine two simple sentences into a complex sentence. Thank you. Thank you, children. We will now take up your questions.